Hey guys, Weird Kid. Hope you're all doing well today and staying safe, staying inside, washing your hands. Today, I just watched Keith from Cobwebs and Candlesticks, another book tour. Love that stuff, man. I absolutely love it. You pulled out a bunch of books that I love, and I wouldn't mind having first editions of them. That's what an investment. I invest a little differently. Something that I'm hung up on is monster magazines. So this was a Warren magazine. It was only 35 cents. This issue came out in 1965, and it only cost 35 cents. And it's in pretty darn good shape for its age. So let's just take a look inside and what we can see. I absolutely love this stuff. I mean, 65 was a bit early for me. I was born in 69. But as I was a kid, sometimes at garage sales, I was able to get my hands on some back issues and stuff like that. And but let me tell you, yeah, I loved all the photos of the different movies. There's Christopher Lee. Everyone knows Christopher Lee. He was a big part of Hammer Studios films. Here's an awesome ad. I love this. Creepy. Of course, then there was Eerie, but this is an advertisement for Creepy. And if you wanted to buy one of these collector's editions, it was only going to cost you 50 cents. How about that, huh? And you filled out this little thing. How many of you did that? How many of you took your old famous Monsters of Filmland or one of your other magazine publications and cut out the order form and sent money in? Elsa Lanchester, The Bride, Boris Karloff. I think they're saying it's Zach Ackerley. Lon Chaney Sr., The Man of a Thousand Faces. That is pretty brilliant makeup. You think about it. For the time, being a silent era film, the guy used to keep his secrets guarded closely. He wouldn't show anyone how he used to do his prosthetics and masks. Some people say he even used like wires to keep, pull his eyelids down or manipulate his face. Check out that high tech. When I was a kid, to see that, I would have been freaked out. But you look at it now, it's kind of cheesy. A wax museum. I was disappointed. I think still in Hollywood, like Madame Tussauds. Has anyone ever been to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum? I went to the one in Orlando. And although it's cool, it's worth going for the experience. I missed, I would have loved to have gone. I think the one in California has like the House of Horrors, like the Chamber of Horrors with all the Universal monster figures. And that's what I really would have liked to have seen, but they don't have any of that in Orlando. Here would be, I used to have that one, and I think, yes, I used to have this one, these two. I never had the one, Horror of Party Beach. I would love to get these, okay? I want that back. I don't have it anymore. I sold it when I made my movie. But in saying that, I highly doubt that when I do get it, I'm only going to pay 35 cents plus 15 cents shipping for it. That one there is probably, I don't know, 40 to 60 bucks. Maybe even more. I don't know. I don't keep up on them. I just look for them. Usually on eBay. I like to buy lots of magazines and horror-related comics. There's another Hammer Studios. They used to scare me more than the Universals because it was, they were in color for one. They used the bright red formula for blood, and it was just more creepy. That's another movie. I have that on a bootleg copy on DVD. There was this one, and then there was the one with, was it Michael Landon? Am I saying that right? He was the Angel TV series there. He was in Little House on the Prairie. I was a teenage werewolf, and then I was a Teenage Frankenstein. I've got a bootleg copy of this. I also have a 1/9 scale custom head of this Frankenstein that I want to turn into Amigo body, Amigo figure one of these days. Love that. Always watched that every time that came on. Of course, the creatures, the tarantula, all the giant insects movies, the mantis, and there was quite a few of them. Oh, and Them, I absolutely love Them. Them is another one of my favorite B horror movies. The giant ants during the Atomic Age era. It was released in black and white, but it was supposed to be initially released in color, in which case I guess the ants were supposed to be green, like atomic waste green. I'm kind of glad they stuck with black and white, because I know there's the scene where they're underground in like a cavern, and there's the soldiers with their Tommy guns, and it's black and white, and it just sets off an atmosphere. Keith probably would tell you a little bit about something there. That's the Munsters coach. I think, I'm not a car guy per se. I mean, I like cars and everything. I think this would be considered a T-bucket, would it not? Pretty cool. There is a guy here in Northport. I'm not joking. There is a guy here in Northport, Florida, who has an exact replica of this car driving around town, and in the back seats are all the characters in I wouldn't think they're wax. I don't know what they're made of, but they're very well made, and they're all passengers in the car. And he also has an old-time school, I don't know if it's a school bus, a public bus, and I think I saw something else he had. I can't think of it right offhand, but it's pretty cool stuff. Ads. I love the ads. Ads are always it. Now, so this is the Munsters coach model kit. I can't see. Let's see, reading here. I don't see anywhere where it says who it's made by, but more than likely it was made by Aurora. This was sold by the Captain Company. Okay, so, and this kit would have only cost you $1.50 plus 35 cents. Go look this kit up on eBay, and you'll be surprised. Baseball cards, never was interested. Then you got like quizzes, and then there's the answers. You had to turn the magazine upside down to see if you're right or not. And there's our subscriptions. You can buy the Famous Monsters of Filmland. I had that. There was quite a few of them here I loved them. There's Zachary, for those that are interested in the show for the horror host segment. And these were 60 cents, so they cost a bit more. This one here that I got now is 35 cents. Those are 60 cents. So Famous Monsters was one of the ones that started it all, weren't they? You know, Forrest Ackerman. Or Uncle Forey, as some people lovingly called him. I got to have a talk with, Ed Edmonds. When I interviewed him, he got to go to Forrest Ackerman's house and see all his toys. Man, I'm jealous. That would have been so awesome, because the guy had an abundance of real film props from so many horror and sci-fi related films that we all hold dear to our hearts. 8mm or 16mm films. I used to have a big collection of those. I interviewed a gentleman by the name of Clay Sayer, who has a big collection of 8mm. When I wanted to buy these, I actually wanted to use them, though. I never did get a projector. I had some of the films. I do got some projectors now. Just haven't gotten around to trying to test it. The other thing I used to love is the LPs, the records, vinyl. I've got a bunch of those now. None of these. I don't have any of these. But they're great, because I used to, when I was in school, I used to go to the library when I had some free time, and I would they had a big collection of records, and they had all kinds. They had like records read by Vincent Price and haunted house records and all kinds of stuff, stories by Edgar Allan Poe. And I used to put them in there with the headphones, the big clunky headphones I used to have back then, and listen to these records. 8mm projector is only $10. Yeah, this model here, who knows how much that's worth now. Venus Flight. There's Nosferatu, the original Nosferatu. More ads. Let's see, more films. And then, of course, the Don Post masks. I think these are the earlier versions. They weren't the deluxe versions. They had to be because, yeah, $4.99 plus 25 cents postage and handling could get you one of these masks. And I'm sure that we all know that the Don Post masks, these originals, they're starting to get a bit brittle, but they're very collectible. They're valued quite a bit. The Revenge of Frankenstein. My favorite was my favorite Hammer horror film was The Curse of Frankenstein. There is a shot in film. It's called a dolly shot, and when you have the camera on a track, and as you're approaching your subject matter, you're pulling back on the zoom, and what that does is it keeps the focal point in focus, but everything around it changes, and that's how they revealed that creature when he pulled the bandages off his face. When Christopher Lee pulled those bandages off his face, they did a sped up dolly shot, and it was super effective, man. That movie scared the heck out of me when I was a kid. So you can get a snap together, no glue needed, human skeleton. They never ever tell you, let's see, a lot of these were BS, man. I'll tell you, they told you they were selling you a submarine or a full 1/1 scale Frankenstein and everything, and it ended up being like something cheap, paper cutout or something like that. This is cool. Now, I know this isn't an Aurora kit. Chamber of Horrors, Guillotine. Tremendous amount of detail in this kit. Company called Polar Lights, I guess, managed to get, yep, there we go, Aurora. Polar Lights managed to get the molds. I guess that's what they did. They got the molds and retooled them and fixed them up and then reissued a lot of these kits. And I actually built this Polar Lights kit, and it was a commission for a client, and 98 cents. Good luck with that. Even the Polar Lights reissues are getting crazy. And then, of course, it's like almost every magazine on the back, you're going to see the Don Post stuff. These are the super deluxe heavy rubber masks. Covers the entire head and still remains flexible, exactly like the actual mask used in the famous Universal movies created for us exclusively by Hollywood's famous Don Post. So you get the Wolfman, Hunchback, the Mummy, Frankenstein, the Mole People. That's another movie I used to like, although we didn't see enough of them. It kind of dragged. I liked it when we saw the Mole People. Mr. Hyde, Dracula, and the Phantom of the Opera. These are, I don't have my glasses. $34 for the Wolfman mask. $17.50 for, now, yeah, think about that. 1965, paying $34 for a mask. That's like $400, $300 or $400 in today's money, if you think about it. But those things are super collectible. I got a few more of these, and I also got some like obscure horror comics. That was something else I absolutely used to love to do, was when I'd go into the drugstore, I'd make a beeline for the comic book rack. I wasn't interested in the superhero comics, although periodically I like the Fantastic Four because I like the Thing. Spider-Man once in a while. But other than that, I really wasn't a big superhero guy. I was more of a monster guy. I was buying the creepy and eerie, and then just looking at the newsstands, like the comic book rack, I would look at and see, and I'd pull out all these obscure titles like haunted houses, or it could be anything, and that's what I used to buy and then come home, and I used to like to sit there, curl up, and read it cover to cover and everything. And then sometimes I'd even try to draw what I was looking at and everything, and fun, good stuff. So anyways, that's what we got for today. Thank you for joining me again. This is day, I don't know, I'm losing track here. But anyways, I hope you're all safe, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.